Action.
Hey Vince, have you seen Paul?
Nope.
Fiona, have you seen Paul?
I'm not sure. I think he mentioned something about going out to look for Sasquatch in the woods.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go look for him outside. Hey Paul! Paul Merriman! Where are you? Paul!
Dude, I'm right here. I've been here the whole time. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us on another Sandia Mountain Natural History Center quick trip. We've been having some fun this morning, but I think this illustrates how easily you can disappear in the woods. Today's video is going to be about how to get found if someone's looking for you. Let's go ahead and get started. So the scenario that we're kind of messing with today is that you've gotten lost, but you have been able to signal for help. Either you were lucky enough to have cell phone signal, or you used a emergency locator beacon of some sort. And all you're doing is waiting for help, but you need to help your rescuers be able to find you. And that's a situation that you got to be prepared for. And it's one that every time I go into the wilderness or the woods, I try and be prepared for. Let me show you how we do that. So every time I go into the woods, I always have this kit with me. And in this kit are several ways to signal for help. I take this kind of bandana, orange, we can signal. The signal mirror, my space blanket is huge and orange. Even my compass has a mirror on it that we can signal for help. I have a whistle, flagging tape, and I have several ways to start fire. All of those are going to be pretty good tools for signaling for help. So most searches are going to start out as searches on the ground for you, because you've signaled using your cell phone if you have signal, or your personal locator beacon, or probably one of the most important steps that people forget is telling people where you're going, so they'll know where you're at. So most of the time in a search, it will first of all, before there are air assets deployed, there's going to be ground assets, people coming out to look for you. So you want to be able to signal to those people. And yelling, if you're going to be yelling for hours, that's going to exhaust you. You're going to use a lot of moisture. So you should always have a few signaling, auditory signaling devices with you. So like a whistle or something. Let's test them out. So fire is going to be one of the oldest, most well-known ways of signaling for help. At night, obviously, a fire is going to be able to be seen for a long way. But during the day, there are some other things that you got to do, mainly create a lot of smoke. Let's show you how to do that. So once you have your fire established, remember, you got to be super careful with fire, because you don't want to burn the forest down, create yourself a bigger problem, but you're going to get yourself a bunch of greens. Throw them on the fire and hopefully create smoke. So the smoke is visible, but it's much more visible once the green, wet branches are put on top. So this is a viable method, but you're going to have to keep your fire going, and you're going to have to keep putting greens on as they burn away and the smoke disappears. So the way this works is you're going to obviously point your mirror at the sun, but you're going to use this aiming hole to look at who you're trying to signal, and you'll see a bright like light in there, and get that light on who you're trying to signal, and boom, you'll be sending them a signal. The signal mirror seems very effective and probably has the greatest range, but it was surprising how difficult it was to get it to actually show up, so it takes some practice. So supposedly an international distress sign for pilots is a big V. I think what you're really looking for is anything that looks man-made. So I've heard 3 X's, I've heard a big V. Let's go up in our chopper and see if we can see this. I don't have a lot of confidence. I'm not super impressed with this one. I think maybe if you spelled out SOS or put out 3 X's, made it a little bit more obvious, but it's kind of tough to tell that this isn't natural. So 2 things I always have in my emergency kit is I have this signal panel. This is good for a lot of things in navigation, collecting firewood, but it's also good for signaling. And a space blanket with an orange side. Let's lay these out and see if these are a little bit better than our smoke and our V symbol. This orange really stands out. This might be one of the best methods because it's passive. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. You can lay it out and just hope that people see it. It doesn't take feeding a fire or anything like that. Waving the orange was also fairly effective. Anything you can do to create movement to catch a rescuer's eye is going to be a good idea. Having said that, movement is not always going to get you noticed, like in the movies. Helicopter flies over and somebody starts flailing. Can you see Toby waving his arms in this shot? This shot was taken from a drone only 120 meters in the air. Think about a plane or a helicopter 1,000 or more feet in the air. So that's our video on signaling. Why don't you comment below which one you think is the best? But it is going to kind of change my thinking. I'm going to always make sure that I have some bright orange material, and maybe I'll even think about the clothes I wear. Maybe I won't always be wearing greens and browns into the woods. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.